Yes, IT coordinator?
We're live again.
Okay, we are live again. We're live again, so I don't think you have to put it. Perfect. Okay, we'll restart the question because there were so many, was a disruption. Good with the live stream now? Perfect, good to go. Awesome. Okay.
As always, the pool of the authors is an open and dynamic formation, so everyone interested can join in as well, as long as they provide something of value to the Science Monthly. In order to pursue more students joining in the Science Monthly authorship pool, the topics can be much more interest to the students, as well as we can elevate the Science Monthly and the perception that it has to the students. As always, it's work produced is under close inspection for quality assurance.
Thank you.
I believe if we want to have a lot of authors in an authors pool, it is important to observe the up-to-date situation about the availability of students throughout the mandate. So if needed, I think that it will be beneficial to announce the second authors call so students will stay informed and they can join. If we are talking about the general interest, I would offer a variety of topics as well as additional values, for example, workshops, trainings on the scientific topics. And also, last but not least, we have to bring the recognition of Science Monthly because it's a popular publication, so it can be beneficial for the future of our students. Thank you.
Okay, are there any other points? Any other questions from anybody? Yes, you've signed.
Begüm, EPSA in Turkey. Do you have any strategy to increase participation to obtain good articles for ESSP? Thank you.
This one's bad, but we can try. Okay, Anna?
It's not working. Okay.
Just bring that mic out. It's all right. We're not
Thank you for your question, and I believe that during this mandate we've reached pretty high number of articles submitted to the SSP. So the most problem was about reviewing them, and I think it's already done on a pretty good level. So maybe to involve more students, I would offer to make them understand what this SSP brings to them. For example, as I already mentioned for Science Monthly, it would be popular publication which can be beneficial for applying for future positions for such as PhD or future work. Thank you.
So considering the role of ESP that it has and the role it has to EPSA, we can always increase the level of the ESP and the perception that it has to the students through the LSs and via close communication with the different LSs. And so we can also increase the amount of academic personnel involved in the SSP and that are reviewing it in order to elevate its status.
Thank you very much. Nice and concise. I love it. Yes, Malta.
Hi, Michael MPSA Malta. What are some scientific topics you hold close to your heart, and what are some examples you can give us of topics that you'd like to see more represented throughout your mandate?
Given that the EPSA has as its mission to prepare students for the pharmaceutical industry or any other aspect of the pharmaceutical world, of course all the topics shall be future-proof and of cutting edge. Some of my personal favorites are topics related to oncology and biologics, which are interpreted by many as the future of the pharmaceutical sciences. And as such, I am planning to move towards that thematology in the Science Monthly or anything other related like nanomedicines or AI, which is also concurrent.
I believe that several topics already covered in previous Science Monthly editions should be brought again, but from a different point of views. For example, topics related to the sustainability can be covered from a wastewater side, as I mentioned in the answers of my questions. But the other topics which I would offer would be, for example, drug delivery system, bacteriophages, or any like packaging and allergies. I can elaborate why these topics. It's because I have a context from this field. That is why I can ensure students with collaboration with professionals so they can gain feedback.
Wonderful, thank you very much. Any other questions from anybody? Yes, BPHSA Bulgaria.
Are you a member of any science organization? And if yes, how are you connected with EPSA?
Anna?
Yes, as I mentioned in my nomination form, I am working at the research center, so it kind of counts. I'm also a participant and a member of the Young Researchers Society in Latvia, and this one could bring us a lot of valuable contacts and professionals to EPSA, so we can have trainings, workshops, and webinars from them. And yeah, I think that's it. Thank you.
So as you may all know, I am personally the International Affairs Liaison of ENCODA, so that makes me a senior member of said organization, which is closely working with EPSA, and as such, there is a great pool of specialists that we can utilize in our endeavors as EPSA. Additionally, I am a member of Cancer Prevention Research Group in Greece, in the position of the head of the Chemo Prevention and Nutritional Supplements Department. Additionally, I am an active member of the Scientific Society of Hellenic Medical Students, and I am an editorial board member of the Hemong.org.
Yes, thank you very much for your answers. I might want to remind you when you speak, please say your name and that you're the science coordinator candidate. No worries, but just for the minutes. Thank you very much. Do you have any other points from anybody? I'll give you a second to think about it. Yes. Sima?
Sema, Secretary General-elect, what type of strategies do you plan to implement in order to make sure that all of your projects are tackled simultaneously?
So there's the Amadoutis, professional coordinator's candidate. So my main goal is to implement all the projects in a parallel fashion, and that can only be done only through proper scheduling and programming and communication with other departments. For example, the public relations in order to promote said projects, or as well as the LSs. Who are responsible for reaching out to the members along with the science coordinator themselves.
Anna, Science Coordinator candidate. I believe that creating separate timelines for each project will be beneficial, so we can share this time. Of course, we need to gain the feedback from LSs and the team in general, and then the timeline should be shared with PR department, VP, Edu department, obviously, so everyone can follow what project is ongoing and when the promotion should start. So, thank you.
Thank you very much. Julia?
Yulia, Vice President of Education elected, I would like to ask you, how do you envision the collaboration in the future educational department, both with Vice President, means me, and other coordinators in the department?
Anna, Science Coordinator candidate. I believe that teamwork in general, not only in the department, is really important. But if we are talking about educational department, I would say that Collaborations with our coordinators as well as vice president are really important. I would follow that with the meetings, not only personal with vice president, but also general in a team, in a department, so we can share updates, ongoing projects, and discuss and share our values. Thank you.
So dear science coordinator candidate, so having already had some communication with the EPSA team, I believe that it is crucial for the normal functioning of the educational department. As such, I believe that the department should have open channels of communication as well as seek external collaborations in order for adaptation to the modern circumstances.
Yes, thank you very much. Dushyafasa?
Masha, the chef of Slovenia, could you please share some ideas how would you make Science Day more sorry.
So dear science coordinator candidate, so of course one aspect that we can do that is by attracting more distinguished academic personnel in order for them to be our jury. Additionally, we can promote it better through the public relations department. And additionally, we can give incentives to students such as rewards in order for them to participate and have them win something in case they achieve good results.
Anna, science coordinator candidate. I believe that creating the visual identity for Science Monthly will bring, for Science Day, will bring the additional value and recognition to this project. Also, it's a bit personal story, but I think that we have to issue a survey regarding the LS and the importance about the participation in international conferences. So if it is beneficial for students to receive this status that they participated, I believe that we should try and aim to achieve recognition for Science Day as an international conference because we are from different countries and we are doing science.
Thank you very much. KPC?
Hi, Anton KPC, the Netherlands. Could you please highlight a specific skill that you'll be using during your mandate as science coordinator if elected?
Yes.
Anna, science coordinator candidate. I think there are a lot of skills that could be beneficial for this position, but the most important ones I think related to science. So as I already mentioned, I'm working at a research institution, so I have gained a lot of skills in the laboratory, as well as in developing, writing, and presenting my scientific work. So I think it will be beneficial with students. Also, I think the most important skill would be teamwork because we are working with authors pool as well as within a team. So I would aim these two.
So dear science coordinator candidate, so the main skill that I would promote would be and utilize would be my experience in scientific and medical writing, and which I will be pursuing to give it to other students through several workshops, for example, or other circumstances. Additionally, I would say that useful skills that I could put in use would be my outreach and connections with several individuals within the field, as well as leadership skills in order to coordinate all parties involved in the projects and the publications.
Wonderful, thank you very much. Do you have any others noted down? No? Yes?
Sema, Secretary General-elect, how do you plan to balance your responsibilities outside of EPSA and within EPSA during your mandate?
Of course, Secretary Madudis, Science Coordinator candidate. So, of course, my main responsibility during my mandate will be my studies, And other than that, EPSA would come second because due to the impact that it has to all the pharmaceutical students throughout Europe and other countries. Of course, you might have heard that I have many interests, but those do not occupy much of my time, them being mostly due about 2 to 3 hours weekly.
My duties outside the EPSA are mostly related to the science, so I think for this position, especially, it will be only beneficial. If we are covering about the EPSA work, I would try to create editors or reviewers pool for authors from Science Monthly, and I think it will be a relief at some point, but it won't affect any quality of the Science Monthly articles. Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much. Yes, Mupsa?
Selam Turkey. Actually, there are many education projects currently implementing EPSA and are highly promoted from social medias. But however, we observe that there are not enough participations in some, especially in science projects, especially the ones that are online and not well known. For example, not the science monthly or beside that. So, which initiatives or activities will you implement for these kind of projects? Thank you.
Anna, Science Coordinator Candidate. I believe that recognition of the project internationally will bring additional value for students to raise their interest. Also, I would offer several workshops or preparation sessions for students to ensure that they are eligible for science or for making presentation, that it is possible. So I think these 2 points will raise their interest and contribute to science within EPSA. Thank you.
Of course, what as a Science Coordinator Candidate, so of course what you said could be resolved by incentivizing the students to actively participate more through several rewards or recognition within the EPSA or within the pools. Additionally, we could always promote inter-level collaboration between the students, for example, a postgraduate could write an article with the undergraduate, and that could educate both into their scientific development.
Okay. Thank you very much. Are there any other questions? I don't think I see any. Oh, yes, Julia.
Vice President of Education elect. Being a science coordinator will not only mean for you to make your science projects, but also to be a team member. And I would like to ask you, how do you envision your role in the EPSA team and how you support the whole team as a future possible coordinator?
So Tuesday, I'm the Science Coordinator Candidate. So my main goal is to make EPSA a positive environment for all parties involved, whether those are EPSA team or students or anything else. Additionally, I envision EPSA reaching out to more and more students and other international entities in order to make sure that it is adapted into the modern needs of the pharmaceutical students.
Anna, Science Coordinator Candidate. I believe that teamwork is essential, and I will try to do that as much as possible. Also, I will try to stay as approachable as possible for not only students, but also for the team members. And if you ask about the specific collaborations, I can see a lot of opportunities within the educational department as well as external relations. And I think it will be beneficial not only for science position, but also for other. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay. Any questions? 1, 2, 3. Nope. Okay. Then I thank the GA very much for the questions they've asked and thank the candidates very much for the answers they have replied. I will close the floor for questions and like to ask the candidates to give their final closing speeches. I'll let Anna do that first and Sotolius second. Okay? If you could just maybe tell us that someone.
I will keep it short because I'm really grateful to be present here and to share my candidacy with you. And I would like to thank my proposer, EPSA, and my secretary, Alpef, because they contributed to my application and my own personal development a lot. So I think it was a good example of a teamwork, and it will be my pleasure to continue my journey within EPSA and to take a step further. Thank you.
Honorable liaison secretaries, EPSA team, alumni, and students, thank you for your questions and consideration. Referring to my introductory speech, may I remind you that as a candidate, I am offering you reliability, insight to the pharmaceutical world and scientific advances, multidisciplinary background, experience in the scientific writing and leadership skills that can help EPSA in adapting in the modern circumstances and needs of the pharmaceutical students. Via the mentoring and communication with the previous two science coordinators and the former VPA for fulfilling related tasks, as such, I am asking you for the position of the science coordinator so I can contribute to EPSA's plans to bring pharmacy knowledge and students together. Expressing my passion for EPSA, I would like to thank the organization for everything that it has provided me and for the person I have become.
Yes, thank you very much. All right. Well, once again, thank you for the candidates. We have concluded. You may go sit. We've concluded this point, so we'll continue to the candidates for the next position, which is the design coordinator, and we have Joshua. You may come forward and give your 1 minute motivation speech.
Hi, Tjasa, design coordinator candidate. So hi again, I'm Tjasa and I'm a 5th-year pharmacy student from Slovenia. For those of you who don't know me yet, I'm very eager about EPSA. I've been to many EPSA events and I'm always happy to meet new people. So always feel free to approach me. I would love to hear your stories and I would love to share mine. So I always seek new opportunities to learn, to grow, and to work internationally. So I believe that EPSA is a wonderful opportunity to do that. So what I want to focus this year is to bring uniform design to the EPSA. In case you missed that, in my application, it's also a folder with some attachments to it, so you can see. And I also want to focus on design subcommittee. I believe that there is a lot of potential, so I really want to be there as their guide. So I think I just ran out of time, so I will be happy to answer your questions. Thank you.
Perfect. Okay, who do we have for questions? Yes, Abef.
Hello, Albert Portugal. Thank you for your application. So my question is, from your experience as a committee member, what are your plans to motivate them and to make sure that they stay doing work throughout the mandate? Thank you.
Tjasa, design coordinator candidate. So first thing I want to establish, if I am elected, is regular meetings with my design subcommittee. I want to establish monthly meetings with them where we will have hangout session. We will also update ourselves on our projects and divide the future projects as well. And yeah, I also wanna make wanna stay in contact with each of them individually. So I will also be the one reaching to them as much as possible.
All right, thank you. Who is the next? LPSA?
Anna, LPSA Latvia, and we would like to ask about one step further. So, have you considered to make how to make the EPSA designs for more inclusive, for example, for people with or students with visual impairments? Thank you.
Tiasha, design coordinator candidate. So in this case, you're going to people with dyslexia, people with color blindness, if I understood correctly. Okay, yeah. So this is something I have considered, and regarding people with dyslexia, and also my idea this year is to make designs uniform. So I plan to use Robota font, which I believe for people with dyslexia is clearly readable. I also found the guidelines on how to make designs for dyslexia, and it's also regarding how far are the letters apart and stuff. I'm so sorry. And regarding the color blindness, I believe the issue is mainly on green and red color. And in my opinion, as I presented, we will be using EPSA colors, which are more of a color palette of blue and orange. So I'm sorry. Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much. Next was Abef, yes.
With APF Portugal. So we were talking about the color palette that you presented during this application. But do you not think that having such a limited color palette make all the designers too similar?
Tiasha, design coordinator candidate. Yeah, the color palette and the choice of design is not only in my portfolio, but also it's something to be discussed with the VPPR. But one thing we could do is to also have different color palettes within the range of colors of EPSA for each project. So this is one of the options we could get the diversity between projects. But yeah, I was going for more uniform picture. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. I believe Anep? Yes.
Pauline Annette France, thank you for your application. What would make you proud if you manage to complete it at the end of your mandate? Thank you.
Tiasha, design coordinator candidate. I believe that the first thing that comes to my mind is the coordinating of my design subcommittee. If I manage to motivate them through the year and to create some sort of small community within ourselves, and also to motivate them to for subcommittee to go run for EPSA team, and also to reach more people. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Next we have Abeth, yes.
Bernardo, Portugal. So, how do you rate the internal processes, both within your the PR department and with the rest of the EPSA team, from idealizing an image and asking for an image to from to the point until the image is done? Am I? Did I? I wasn't clear. How do you rate the process of asking for an image and doing the image about the resources and the tools that you have? And do you have some things to change about those processes? You get it from Podio and such. Thank you.
Tiasha, design coordinator candidate. If I focus on Podio, I believe it is sufficient because it's a nice way to present the PR request and also for the design coordinator to delegate tasks easily, and for the subcommittee or for me who is doing the design, it's very clear. And regarding the use of other platforms like Canva, I would prefer to focus more on Adobe programs, to use Adobe Illustrator as main platform for designing.
Perfect, thank you very much. Yes, Mupsa.
Selam Bursa Turkey. Just out of curiosity, while you're continuing your mandate as a design subcommittee member, did you attend any other designing courses, or have you ever received a certificate in this regard? Thank you.
Thank you for your question, Tiasha, design coordinator candidate. During my mandate as a design subcommittee, we have received workshops from our VPPR and design coordinator. Apart from that, I have educated myself via different platforms, such as different YouTube channels and through Instagram. If I was certificated, I was not, for the fact that it's also, when you, for example, if you want to get certificated by Adobe, there is a large amount to put in, and it was the financial problems.
Thank you very much. Any points noted down? Okay. Anybody else that has a new question manifesting in their mind? If not, just looking around, yes? Okay, great. If not, I would thank Joshua very much for the answers that you gave, and the GA, of course, very much for the questions that you asked. And I will give you an opportunity to give a 1-minute closing speech. Yes?
Tiasha, design coordinator candidate. First of all, I want to thank you all for considering my application. I also want to thank my proposer, the chauffeur, for the whole support, and the PPSA once again. They were really helpful with preparing for this candidature. And I also want to thank Mariana and Christina, who were a big support to me this year as a subcommittee. I really appreciate them. And something I can assure you, if I get elected, is that I will do my best. I will take care of my design subcommittee. I will consider them as my children. And I also want to keep the EPSA image professional. And just to conclude, in the past 2 years, EPSA has given me a lot, and I would really love to give something back to EPSA. So thank you so much again, and we'll see you later. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Okay, small technical break there. With that out of the way, we can continue to the next point, which is the questions to and the speeches by the Advocacy Platform Coordinator candidates. Susanna, I'll give the word to you. That's good.
It's very good. Thank you so much. Okay, so actually, Leonard, Advocacy Platform Coordinator candidate. First of all, hello everyone. I hope you're doing well. I'm also EPSA's Publications Coordinator, if you didn't know. So this is not my first experience in EPSA. I am glad to say that I've had a lot of adventures already, and that's also one of the reasons why I'm staying and keeping this adventure going. I have also been involved with PR for 4 years, but because of my internship that I did this mandate, I found a new love, and that's advocacy. By being at PGU, which is also an umbrella association, I understood how important it is to advocate and participate with members for them to achieve their goals. And it would be an absolute honor to be part of this process within EPSA. And I can assure you that I'll be super, super hardworking, and I'll be glad to be by your side while you accomplish your advocacy goals. So thank you so much. I'm ready for your questions.
Thank you very much, Leno. Can we see the ones?
Ogo came to the Netherlands. You mentioned in your nomination form that you want to have like the APR meetings alternate between focusing on either trainings or the actual look at advocacy itself. I would like be curious on how you would see like the change in how the meetings take place affect attendance of the APRs or less. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much for your question. This idea came from the fact that I understand that a fair share of the people that participate in APR meetings are also LSs, and I think it will be also beneficial to not always have the trainings in the beginning, since they make sometimes the meetings a bit long and cut the opportunity for you to share your own practices. I really think it's important to make the advocacy platform meetings as a platform for you to share your own practice, because I think you have a lot to learn from all of your experiences, and I would like to be a place for you to come and speak, and that we can have a reciprocate discussion and not only you hearing trainings. That's the only reason why they are still important and they are still happening, but I see it as happening in an alternate manner, so we can have the best of the both approaches.
Thank you. Anand?
Pauline and France, thank you for your application. We could see your motivation and we would like to know more about your vision about the social media visibility you want to have for the EA department. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your question. Well, first of all, I think it would be important to keep the EA Wednesdays. They have been very fruitful, and I think they are a good tool in collaboration with the rest of the EA department to showcase our work and also to inform our following. That would be point one. I also think we can keep investing a little bit more in online discussion forums and make them available in our social media in opening. And I can already tell you that my intention is to have this as a collaboration with you, member associations. So you can also have the opportunity to be speakers and be active players on these discussions. And also, I would think it would be a good idea to have a little bit more of, for example, educational or PhD-oriented action groups that can also be showcased through social media, which is entirely possible, and it could be a good option.
Thank you. Dusha.
Masha, the chef of Slovenia. In your application, you mentioned some concerns about the hackathon. So, do you have any specific timeline or deadline for completing your investigation regarding the hackathon's execution?
Thank
you so much for your question. So I would say hackathon is like the crown jewel, but also the stone in our shoe. It's a project. It's a new project. It's very interesting. It functions sort of like an educational forum, and it's the premise itself. It's very, very interesting. And the reason I suggest this investigation is because of that. Because I think it can be beneficial. I think EPSA will benefit from that, but it still has a lot of limitations. We have found this year that it's not a project that can be implemented easily, and for that reason, I'm proposing this investigation. I think it will be possible to accomplish the final result by the next GA. I can totally show you a report, and it's the total intent of this investigation is to define if this project can happen or not, and if not, for you to have a report on all the reasons why it cannot happen. Because I also don't want to drop this project just because I dropped this project. I want you to have reasons, and I want you to have reasons to drop it.
Thank you. Abef?
APF, Luis APF Portugal. I just want to ask you, because you, as advocacy platform coordinator, you will have lots of advocacy work, but as well policy, and how is going to be your collaboration with policy coordinator?
Thank you so much, Luisa. So I think, first of all, we also have to align, but I would love to also have action groups with policy coordinator and also EA Wednesdays. For topics, I think it would be interesting to have something related with One Health, because it's going to be one of the topics of interest next or during 2024 and 2025. I think it would be interesting, but also pharmacy services in the pharmaceutical career could be interesting to have something on that regard. And honestly, I have many ideas about topics, and I'm excited to put it in practice, to be honest. But yeah, there is space for collaboration with a policy coordinator, and we just need to align, of course, at some point on what we will prioritize, of course.
Thank you very much. EPSA and INT?
Rabia, you say in Turkey. I just want to ask, have you had a meeting with the current advocacy platform coordinator? If yes, have you noticed anything that you want to improve, that you want to change, that was lacking and you wanted to add? That's my question.
Well, thank you so much for your question. Yes, we have met. We have talked about, even before any possibility of handover, about what could be interesting to implement next mandate. The first change, it would be actually the point that was already mentioned, of making the workload during the meetings a bit lower to make sure people are engaged in the long term on the APR meetings. And another point that we also discussed would be the kind of action groups and the online forum discussions that we could implement so as to improve the engagement from member associations, because in the end, this is all the goal. This is the final goal, is to showcase your work, is to make sure that you have all the tools that you need and that you have the visibility that you deserve for the projects that you develop. So basically, those were the main topics, but yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. Anna? Oh, sorry, tussen. Anna, yeah.
Pauline and France, we would like to know how do you plan to promote EU opportunities if you want to promote them? Thank you.
Thank you so much. I think I will keep email threads and also like informal communication through chat, to WhatsApp chat. I think that would be beneficial to keep a bit more informal and a bit more reminders maybe for deadlines and so forth.
PPSA?
Ola PPSC Poland. So, according to your reports, and as we know, you didn't participate in the LS Body project. And as you previously mentioned in one of the answers for the, I believe, the first question, uh, many LSs are also APRs. So we wanted to ask, how would you bridge the communication with them during the meetings and through other communication channels? Thank you.
Thank you so much. So yeah, it's true. In the beginning of this mandate, I took the decision of not being part of the LS body project, but just to give you the context, I was also a working student. I was doing or still activities for my local association as a member back home. I was doing my internship. I was doing EPSA work, so it was a bit like my time management for how good it could ever be, I wouldn't be responsible enough, and I think it needs to be a fair exchange with you, and that was the only reason why I decided not to apply to the project. At the moment, I have a lot free, at least more free time than I had during, than I will be more free. I will have more free time than I have this mandate. Thank you, and it will be easier for me to be responsive. And I think that communication will definitely something that I would prioritize during APR meetings. I will make sure that we have, if the agenda allows it, of course, icebreakers. I want us to be as close as we possibly can. I'll keep informal communication with you because I think that's also the best way of communicating. Let's keep email threads to the minimum, please. We all know that they are amazing. Thank you, Tim. Sorry.
No, that's right. Charlotte.
Charlotte VPA, thank you, Leo, for your application. How do you plan to cope with your work since you don't have a VP yet?
Thank you so much for your question, Cha. So thankfully, we have the advocacy strategy. So we already have some topics that we are going to tackle during this period of 2024-2025. However, it will be hard if we don't have elect a VPEA. My guess would be to distribute the workload among coordinators, what is possible to distribute, and other tasks, to the executive, but it will be hard. In the meantime, because I still 100% will have a VPA, yeah, I will try to coordinate with the people that will be elected, and try to already establish some priorities, go through the handover period with our predecessors, and try to kind of prepare for what might be the priorities of the coming mandate. I think that's the best that we can do at the moment, yes.
Okay. Yes, Mukta.
Selam to Turkey. EPSA is working very actively. EPSA is actively promoting advocacy and trying its best to raise awareness in this regard. Also, the results, the surveys results, and your works will be being discussed and published in the annual reception. But however, there should be a next stage. We believe that there should be a next stage as well in order to get somehow together results or somehow to taken steps for the problem. So what would you consider? What would you do to consider this problem and taking actions and practicing in this regard? Are you clear? Is it clear?
Do you have any do you have any particular topic that you want to address on this whole question?
Selam Turkey. For example, for mental health, you did this recent topic. You did a great work, EPSA did a great work in this regards, do a lot of works, and actually there are a lot of results and documents regarding that. But as students, as pharmacists, and you discussed this in the annual reception, but as students, as pharmacy students, okay, we know their problems and we have a data, but what should be the next steps? What should we do? And do you have any plans to enhance the projects or enhance the actions that you want to take? Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah. Sorry. Well, that's a tough question, and it will for sure take more than 1 minute. But my view would be to, at local association, having you as members trying to reach out to deans, trying to reach out to possible partners, trying to promote these topics next to them. And our work as EPSA would be to also take this message to our stakeholders, share it, and make sure all of the outcomes that are in these position papers and are in these materials are considered. I believe that would be the next step. Just because the paper was released, the work has not stopped. It's very far from that. We continue to advocate, and we are using it as a tool to keep doing so. So that would be the next step, to strategically start to use these tools to advocate.
Yes, thank you very much. Do we have any GPSF?
Electra, TPSF Greece. Thank you so much for your application. I would like to ask you, in your nomination form, you refer that you aim to organize two-way registration for the advocacy platform, for the advocacy action groups, but the advocacy platform coordinator mentioned in her report that only one works in reality. It is a little bit difficult to organize two. So how do you aim to handle this? Thank you.
Thank you, Letra, for your question. My approach will be to reduce the parallel action groups that we'll have, and that's the reason why we'll have two waves. So instead of having more projects happen in parallel, let's say having 4 happening at the same time and then 2, I would like to have 3. And that way we will decrease the workload, and in that way it will be more manageable to have 2 waves of action group applications. That's more or less the approach that I want to take on this topic. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much. That is all the points we have. Does anybody else have any other points that they would like to ask? No. Once, twice, 3 times. Sold? Okay. Then, if there are no further questions, I'll close the floor for questions. I'd like to thank you very much for your answers, and of course the GA for their questions. And I'll give you the opportunity to give your 1-minute closing speech, if you want it.
So, last time I'll have to say my name. So, Leonardo Rouge, Advocacy Platform Coordinator Candidate. First of all, thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for considering my application. Thank you to the PSA. Thank you to APEV for supporting me in this whole journey. It meant a lot, and hopefully you saw it through my nomination form. I would like to stress that I'm super motivated to take over this role. I don't know if you noticed, but in the past few months I was at the APR meetings because I wanted to understand how it worked, how you guys work together. I want to keep the amazing legacy that Charlotte and Heavy started, and I really hope to be able to do so. And well, I'll leave it in your hands, and thank you so much for your time, really.
Thank you very much. You may take your seat again. Yeah, don't forget your stuff. Amazing. Okay. Okay, we are moving to the next point, but I have to reload refresh the thing for us. Yes. So, due to that, we are still quite generous in the time we have in the agenda. We have moved up the last coordinator point of the policy coordinator now. Manel?
Now, President, exactly. According to the agenda, we'll have Noor policy coordinator candidates after the break. But if you're all comfortable with it, we would move her to before the break. We can have a little bigger break afterwards, and then we do the internal discussion afterwards. Nice, thank you.
Yes, wonderful. Nice to see all the agreement. So I'd like to ask Noor to come forward so she can give her 1 minute motivational speech.
First of all, good afternoon, everyone. Dear EPSA members, DGA, I am very thrilled to be standing here in front of you as a policy coordinator candidate. As maybe some of you know me as as EPSA Audit Committee member, some of you not yet, but hopefully we'll remedy that in the next few days. I had the opportunity to work with EPSA this year, and particularly I had the wonderful opportunity to be an EPSA intern in Brussels, and therefore be acknowledged with during the last few months with EPSA policy and advocacy work, and advocate for EPSA's projects and missions in Brussels. Therefore, I am kind of convinced that I have the motivation and skill and the proper knowledge to be able to do that. Oh, can I continue? Just a bit? Okay, never mind.
Thank you very much for your 1 minute motivational speech. With this, I open the floor for questions. If anybody has any on the application. Yes, Abef?
Bernard Portugal. So in your nomination form, first, thank you for your application. So in your nomination form, you mentioned that you want to decrease the editions of the policy newsletter to 2 per mandate. How do you, I didn't understand much what was the motivation behind that decision or proposal. So could you clarify that a bit on why could that impulse the policy newsletter visibility? Thank you.
New policy coordinator candidate. I understand that it was I first mentioned that there will be like 4 policy newsletters. However, after further discussions with the current policy coordinator as well as the EA department, we came to a conclusion that 2 policy newsletters are sufficient. Also to decrease the workload and to make it more visible and to attract more interest from the member associations, as Yamun, policy coordinator, mentioned in her report. It's more efficient that way, and it can there can be sometimes regarding certain topics a lack of interest or a lack of contribution from certain member associations, which is fine. But to put that those contributions of the MEs, the member associations, more into highlights, it's better to decrease the number of the newsletter to make them more impactful.
Thank you very much. Next question was Dushifusa.
Nasha, the Slovenia. In your opinion, what is the primary policy topic that EPSA should focus on?
New policy coordinator candidate. Um, this is a bit strange since I'm going to give an opinion. This is my first time as well. Um, um, Personally, I think that it's not really up to me to decide on a topic. I think it's more about a collaboration, not within the EA department, but also within the team, and of course with the member associations and the APRs. If I could give an opinion, and after consultation with the VP for European Affairs especially, I think One Health will be the topic of next year. And yeah, I have other topics in mind, but I think this one will be more impactful. I don't know. I think it will be better also to work on maybe shortages, digital skills, and education. But I think One Health would be the topic.
Thank you very much. Next was KPC.
Elko came to the Netherlands. In your nomination form, you mentioned you might have to do a full-time internship at a pharmaceutical company in case your PPTA internship won't count. Have you thought if you actually if you have to do the actual full-time internship, how you would deal with that during your mandate?
Thank you for your question. No, policy coordinator candidate. Yeah, the thing is, I will have to do kind of a part-time internship at the hospital for the first semester, and the second semester do an industry internship. However, since I've been an intern in Brussels and doing my internship at the PPTA, I'm trying to work it out in the sense that this internship will count as my industry internship, and therefore I will have more time to be more relaxed and work more on the portfolio. However, I see your concerns, and I think it's a very important question in that regard. And I think I can still manage it since I have done associative work for like 3 or 4 years, and I've managed it well with my studies and doing internship also on the side. So I don't think this will be a problem. Of course, time management will be a key, but I think we'll work out with a good collaboration within the EA department and the team.
Thank you. I believe next is Abeth. Yes.
Elizabeth Portugal, thank you for your application. And my question is, how do you will finalize the formal educational review, and what you think the outcomes will be?
North Policy Coordinator candidate. First of all, I would like to ask a small clarification about what you mean as outcomes specifically.
What you expect when you do this review, what you expect with it, or what effects you think that will have.
I think the formal education review is very important and will be, I think, if I'm elected, will take the most time of my will take the most of my workload, as I said, discussed with the actual policy coordinator and the EA department, and we think that it will be more of a priority to focus on the project specifically about issuing other policy papers, since there we still have some of those and they may need to be updated. So the focus will be more on this formal educational review. This for me, I think if I can give my opinion, I think we'll focus more on issuing a new version as it was given in the guidelines. The guidelines needs to be updated, and the more policy coordinator will do it with my help if I'm elected.
And since a few annexes are still didn't or weren't issued, it will be best to implement them, especially with the soft skills and education.
Thank you very much. Yes. Okay. Next question is from EPSA Int.
How can you define the relationship between EPSA and the EU institutes, and do you have any ideas or strategies to improve it? Thank you.
Non-policy coordinator candidate. So I think the relationship with the EU institutions is indeed very important. Therefore, this will be more in the portfolio of the VP of European Affairs. Therefore, as I said it in my nomination form, I will be there to help, and especially through my work as a policy coordinator with gathering the necessary data from the students and from the monitoring. But I think it is very important for the BEA and me to respond to the public consultations issued by the European Commission, for example, or attend some meetings with stakeholders along with the VPEA if needed, and give some input on the work that I have done. But yeah, it's a very interesting question and a very important at that, and as I was an intern in Brussels, I can definitely see that there is an impact with the stakeholders that I managed to talk with during some events, and yeah, they really wanted to have like a student's opinion and pharmacy students' opinions, since there is a lot going on right now for pharma.
Yes, thank you very much. Yamur?
Yeah, I'm a policy coordinator. Thank you, Nur, for your answers. And could you please elaborate on your professional experience as an EPSA intern in Brussels and how it influenced you and equipped you with skills needed for the position?
Nur Policy Coordinator candidate, thank you very much for your question, Ramur. I think my internship in Brussels and my time in Brussels in general influenced very much me being here today, standing in front of you as a policy coordinator candidate. So yeah, thank you for your question. It really did, because I could really, how do I say, I could see that I was really actively immersed in the EU bubble, and like we sometimes jokingly say with other fellow interns that we breathe EPSA every day in Brussels. I think my internship also helped me a lot in that regard. I was able to meet with professionals, like recently, not even like 2 weeks ago, I was able to be in Athens for the Congress of my internship provider, where I managed to speak with some stakeholders and EMA, for example, especially on the matter of shortages. And they were really, they really wanted to know a pharmacist's opinion on that.
Okay, thank you, thank you. Next point is PPSA.
Hola, EPSA Golden. First of all, thank you so much for your application. And our question is, considering your previous mandate as audit committee member, so one of the neutral bodies, how will you tackle switching from being neutral to being an active team member who provides feedback and opinions on the team meetings or department meetings? Thank you.
Another audit committee candidate, thank you, Ola, for... oh, sorry. Please, well, audit now. I got a few seconds. Policy
of a jump in positions and quite a big transition. However, I think for me, the starting as audit committee was necessary as I knew EPSAs were kind of from afar, and it was kind of a good experience into being kind of in the sidelines and gaining more knowledge about EPSA's work and the projects through that manner. Now that we're approaching kind of the end of the mandate, and I have all these months of knowledge within EPSA, I can feel now, I can say that I can feel more comfortable giving my opinion on certain matters and especially on advocacy and policy.
Perfect. Okay. Thank you. Very good, very good. Next we have Apef. Yeah.
So, do you see yourself having a role in the advocacy action groups if the advocacy platform coordinator also is open for that? And what do you envision for your role to be in them? Thank you.
No, policy coordinator candidate, thank you, Bernardo, for your question. We had a brief chat with the advocacy platform coordinator candidate, and we thought, yes, I see you. We thought about really implementing the AGG this year as a collaboration between our two positions. As we see it can be very, very beneficial in our endeavor to really promote EPSA's work on advocacy and policy, and really to kind of make the students more involved in that regard. Like as I said in, I think, for the first question, in some topics, on some areas and projects within the department, we can see a lack of involvement. So in my case, I will be very happy to collaborate with Leonor if she's elected, and we're both elected on that, and give more information about my work as a policy coordinator and promote our surveys and my research on that, if I'm elected.
Yes, thank you very much. Next was GPSF. Yep.
Lecture at EPSA Greece. How do you aim to stay up to date with the latest advocacy and policy topics? Thank you.
No policy coordinator candidate. Thank you, Electra, for your question. For me, it's very important that the policy coordinator stays up to date with what's happening within the EU bubble. And like I mentioned, as an intern, I've been doing monitoring work with the public affairs and policy departments, where I had to give weekly or bi-weekly newsletters via email, therefore gather data from the different European institutions, but also from press, and about different stakeholders' opinion on some certain matters happening within the EU. So yes, I won't be in Brussels anymore, but I will still keep an eye on that as it is part of my portfolio.
Thank you. Next we have BPHD.
Nina, BPHD Germany first, thank you so much for your application. So from what we've seen during the last year, the engagement in like reading and commenting on like policy papers is not that high. Do you have any ideas in how to motivate LS and APR to participate more in that? Thank you.
No, policy coordinator contact. Thank you, Nina, for your question. Yeah, like I mentioned already, yes, the there can be some lack of involvement in some certain topics, I guess. But I think it's also for me and for my collaboration with the APC, the elected APC, and the EA department in general to really assess what interests students, pharmacy students in that regard, because I view this as a collaboration, and I will see my work as reflecting what they would like to see in a position paper and what would interest them and what would be the issues they would want to see be tackled. So yeah, for me, I will respond to this like that, but also I know that in regards of promotion, there is still some improvements to work on, and
Thank you very much. PPSA? No? Good. Charlotte?
Charlotte VPA, thank you so much for your application. What do you think of the future of the policy newsletter, taking into account the decreasing attractivity of the project?
no policy coordinator candidate, thank you Charlotte, for your question. Yes, as I've talked with the current year department, but also with the APC candidates, indeed the policy newsletter can be furthermore improved. As I said, responding to Bernardo's question earlier, there is, we decided to decrease the number of the newsletters even for next year, but also work on a better way to make it more attractive and involve members better. So instead of making it like this kind of big documents, we will maybe make it more attractive for the members associations by making it on social media via post or integrating it to the EA Wednesdays as reels. I don't know, in a monthly manner or even like more. But yeah, that still needs to be investigated, but we have some ideas that we need to collaborate with PR.
Thank you very much. Then Charlotte had another one. Yes?
Charlotte VPN, past policy coordinator, how do you plan to achieve the completion of the advocacy strategy?
Charlotte VPA and past policy coordinator, how do you plan to achieve the completion of the advocacy strategy?
Non-policy coordinator candidates. Yes, as the advocacy strategies has been drafted for the years of 2023-2026, this is still going on. And within the advocacy, this document, this advocacy strategy, the focus will be more on digital health and skills, but also on education and the well-being of students, but also on One Health, and therefore that was one of the topics that we would like to work on next year. And for the digital skills, for example, and the well-being of students, I would like to include this with the formal educational review, as I think there is still a lot to be updated and worked on. And I mean, also, yeah, I mean, I'll stop at that.
Yep. Okay, perfect. Thank you very much. GPSF? Yep.
Electra, DPSF Greece. How do you aim to collaborate with advocacy action group members in writing the policy documents? Thank you.
Non-policy coordinator candidate, thanks for the question.
To be completely honest, I think this still needs to be investigated. I don't have a clear view of how, if I'm elected, to how to do it yet. Since it wasn't really implemented this year and not really as part of like the policy portfolio, it was more for the advocacy, and for the next mandate we wanted to be more of a collaboration between the policy and the advocacy. Um, yeah, I think it's a good initiative overall to keep the interest going on in this area of policy and advocacy within EPSA, and really like make students more involved in it. I can't give you a proper answer right now, as I haven't assessed it yet personally.
Yes, perfect. Thank you. Okay, I believe that is all the points that we have written down. Are there any other impromptu questions, thoughts, something coming up? I do not see anything right now. Okay, if there are no further questions, I will close the floor for questions. I'd like to thank Noor very much for answering the questions and give her the opportunity to give her 1 minute closing speech.
Noor, policy coordinator candidate. First of all, I would like to thank Anam and the EPSA for their support throughout this whole process. They've been a good help, but also the current EU department for answering all my questions and giving me all the support I needed. And also you here today for all your questions and for considering my application with such regard. I think what I would like to emphasize on the most is really the collaboration that I would like to install if I was elected, not really only within the department or the team, but also with you, APRs, LSS, and member associations in general, to really reflect your views accordingly as a policy coordinator and as part of EPSA, because I think this is really important. So yeah, thank you very much.
Wonderful, thank you. Okay, this brings us to the next point on the agenda, which will be coffee break. Are these times accurate? No, these times are not accurate, no. Okay. They could be, but we still need to do some elections. Manel, technical.
Now, President. No. The break is until 4:45. This gives us 45 more minutes for the closed discussion, which might be needed. And yeah, so we have the break from now until 45. And for the coffee break, I'll let Dominique.
Yes, Dominica, technical?
Dominic, the coffee break is not ready yet because we usually have them from 4:30, but I think they'll prepare it a bit earlier, and 4:30 the latest the food will there, so we'll have at least 15-20 minutes to go have coffee break.
Yes, wonderful. Well, before everybody goes and stands up, we will commence with the roll call. Dominica?
Dominica Vipea, perform the roll call. PPHSA Bulgaria, CPSA Croatia, South Bosnia and Herzegovina delegated to CPSA Croatia, CIPSA Cyprus, CPSA Czech Republic, CIPSA Finland and France, PPHG Germany, LPSA Latvia, SFD Lithuania delegated to LPSA Latvia, NPSA Malta, KNPSV the Netherlands, FEF Spain delegated to KNPSV the Netherlands, NOPSA Norway, SOP Denmark delegated to NOPSA Norway, PPSA Poland, AFA Austria delegated to PPSA Poland, EPSA Ireland delegated to PPSA Poland, APE Portugal, NPSA North Macedonia delegated to APE Portugal, FASFR Romania, SPSA Slovakia, DSHFS Slovenia, NAPSA Serbia delegated to DSHFS Slovenia, Switzerland, EPSA Turkey, EPSA Ukraine.
Thank you very much. While the last cards are being collected and being counted, I just wanted to say another thank you for the candidates and their answers to the questions and their speeches, and also, of course, to the GA. I'm very happy to see the engagements with the questions today. It was really good, and I commend that. And I hope we keep it up like this, because that can make it a good GA. It's true. All right.
Dominica Viplay, collected 27 voting cards.
Thank you very much. With that, I suspend the standing orders, and you may begin with the coffee break. Until 4.
forget to share screen on Zoom so that they can see the slides. Share the slide manager so that they can see.
Okay. Thank you, everybody. We will share the results in a second. Yeah, it's good. Okay, okay. So I hope we didn't spoil too much. Can the people? Yes, can the candidates online hear us? Thank you very much. Can you see the screen too? Perfect.
Yes.
Okay, well, we will announce the results of the vote. So hold your horses. Oh, come on. What? Yes. That was what I was doing. Okay, first of all, for the professional affairs coordinator, we initially did not get the final result, and in the end, Mariana was chosen. I am so sorry. Marina was elected the new professional affairs coordinator with the simple majority in the second round. For the science coordinator, Anna has been elected as the new coordinator. For the design coordinator, Chasha has been elected. For the advocacy platform coordinator, Leonora has been elected. And for the policy coordinator, Noor has also been elected. So congratulations very much to everybody who was elected. And also, not to forget, thank you very much to everybody who did apply and was not elected. We very much appreciate your enthusiasm and your willingness to come be a part of the EPSA team. So don't feel demotivated too much. Maybe there will be a place for you in the next round of elections. Manel?
Manel, President, this is exactly what we want to, for the people online, can you hear me? Yes, okay. This is exactly what we want to reiterate. Please don't be demotivated from these results in case you were not the elected person. EPSA is still very, very willing to have you join us, and there's nothing stopping you from another application. We have the second round of elections happening on Saturday, and you'll get more information about it very, very shortly. The Parliamentary Council will send you an email still today. And for the ones that were elected, congratulations as well.
Thank you very much. Well, you may take your seats, although it won't take long because we can now go to the next point in the agenda, which is closure of day 2. I'd like to thank everybody very, very much who attended and contributed to the GA. Yes, don't worry. A moment. Before I suspend the standing orders and everybody may go, we first will do the roll call.
Sema, Section-elect. BPHA, BPHSA Bulgaria, CIPSA Croatia, SAFF Bosnia and Herzegovina, delegated to CIPSA Croatia, JUPSA Cyprus, CIPSA Czech Republic, FIPSA Finland, ANEP France, BPHD Germany, IFSA Italy, LIPSA Latvia,
SFD Lithuania delegated to EPSA Latvia, EPSA Malta, KMPSB the Netherlands, FIF Spain delegated to KMPSB the Netherlands, NOPSA Norway, SOP Denmark delegated to NOPSA Norway, PPSA Poland, AFF Austria delegated to PPSA Poland, IPSA Ireland delegated to PPSA Poland, AFF Portugal, NOPSA North Macedonia delegated to AFF Portugal, FAFSA Romania, SPSA Slovakia, DSHPZ Slovenia, NAPSR Serbia delegated to DSHPZ Slovenia, ASAP Switzerland, EPSA INT Turkey, EPSA Ukraine. I have collected 28 working cards, so
Thank you very much. I believe the elections are officially over. I believe that does mean that the chair of the meeting will be Manel again. So, will you do the honor of suspending the standing orders? Sorry, I'm tired.
Manel, President. Yeah. I'm kidding. I suspend the standing orders, and that's it for the G today. Before going, just a very, very short, I don't know, communication moment for you? Yeah, something like this. Since parts of the social program of this event are in public places and will be together with external